Well, welcome everybody to Succeeding at Work, the language stream portion of the exciting Food Processing Skills Canada programs, one of many that we have that we are launching in Ontario. And we are so glad that you've been able to join us at this time. And if you registered and aren't able to participate, you will get a copy of this presentation afterwards, along with the recording. We're coming to you from all over Ontario. We're located in the nation's capital here in Canada, in Ottawa. I shouldn't say Canada, we're all Ontario based here, most of us. On this call, we endured the storm yesterday, which I'm sure most of you endured as well, but we're all cleaned up here in Ottawa, and the sun is shining, and it's a little bit cold, but it's a nice day. So hopefully everyone else got all their driveways and stuff cleared out in your areas where you may be as well. We won't be taking up too much of your time today, hopefully about 45 minutes or so, and then, a whole bunch of time for questions. And please feel free, it is interactive session. So we do want you to, ask questions throughout, use the chat and so forth. We have Mike Zwicky, who's behind the scenes there. He'll show himself, who's helping us with the production and producing this webinar for us, and we'll monitor our polls and our questions and so forth. So please feel free to engage in that way. So let's go through how we're going to begin the day. Obviously, this program came to life as, we realized that there are barriers in language training, especially for the industry, for the food processing industry. And we had some great programming already developed, and we said, you know what, we don't want to have any barriers at all. We want to have education for all, including new Canadians and those who may have been here for a while, who can learn in their language some of the skills and requirements needed for our industry. So being able to provide that at their own pace, at their own time, but being able to hear, everything orally as well, and seeing it on the screen. So we wanted to provide some multilingual training that deal with the essential skills, food safety skills, and be able to support some Ontario food and beverage industry. So for our speakers today, we have myself, I'm Jennifer Griffith, the Executive Director of Food Processing Skills Canada. Been with the organization for quite a while, probably 22 years or so. Managed a lot of programs. We've seen a lot of things come and go. This is unprecedented times, as you know, that we're in, but we are trying to make the best of it. And our industry is resilient, and we've been doing quite a few things during this time, during the pandemic, and really just trying to still offer everything that we can to assist our industry any way possible. And then my partner in crime here, my co-host presenter, Deanna Zenger, is also with us. She's our National Project Manager for the Succeeding at Work program. Deanna?
Hi, thanks, Jennifer. I too have been with Food Processing Skills Canada for a large number of years, longer than I care to admit. Back in the day when we were National Seafood Sector Council, and then the Food Processing HR Council, as some of you may know us. But FPSC has a team of people that are on the ground, and we work closely with organizations and employers, and we bring that information. We talk to employers. We bring all your concerns and issues and your challenges and your desires. So we bring it forward, we meet as a team, and we make things happen. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Back to you, Jen.
Great. Thanks, Deanna. So we also have a great project team to implement this program to all of you in Ontario. So we're just going to introduce a few of them who are with us today. So we have Christina Osuna, our project manager. So I want her to introduce herself and maybe tell her a bit about her experience in coming to Canada. Oh, you're on.
Thank you, Jennifer. Hi, everyone. Thank you all for coming here today. My name is Christina, and I arrived in Canada 7 years ago. I know based on my experience that the integration into a new culture in a new workplace is never easy. And however, I know that through this type of program, life and integration process could be easier. And as I know that I am pretty sure basically that this is a great program, useful program for all our new Canadians. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Christina. Christina's been with us for probably, what is it, 4 years now or so? 3 or 4 years, I believe.
5.
5, wow. See, time is flying, and is really integrated into our organization well. It's brought a lot of expertise, from Colombia, but an engineering background as well, and has really assisted us in a lot of our programs and projects here. So yeah, it's good to have you, Christina.
Thank
Then
you.
we have Cynthia Perry. She's our outreach manager for this program and many of our other programs, and been with us for a long time as well. Cindy, I didn't know if you wanted to say a few words. I did see she was there.
I am here. I just wanted to thank everybody for joining the webinar, and I hope you get the most out of the information that's being presented. And I hope that all of you can utilize it as well. So most of you probably know my name because I'm the one that reached out to you to participate in this. And I just want you to feel free to ask questions and to reach out to any of us if you have any questions or need help registering or being part of the program.
Perfect. Thank you, Cindy.
You're welcome.
And then last but not least, we have Celine and Emma. I believe Emma is representing DPM research. We do have a research component to this program, surveys, outreach. They'll be calling you, might be hearing from them. They're not that scary. They're actually very friendly people from the East Coast who will be helping us to track a lot of the data that we are collecting as part of this program. So Emma, do you want to say hi?
Hi, everyone. Thanks, Jennifer. It's a pleasure to see so many people here today. And like Jennifer mentioned, I'm part of the evaluation team for the SAW language stream program. And all of you as participants will be important parts of the data collection and helping us understand the program more, how it can be improved in the future. So welcome, and it's exciting to hopefully start your SAW journey here.
Thank you, Emma. Great. So this is our project team, and those you'll be hearing from us once you sign up and register for the program. A big thank you to our funders, which is the Government of Ontario. They have been a great support along the way. Our analyst is really great, who's checks in on us. We provide our activity quarterly reports to them, give us feedback and so forth. So we are grateful for the opportunity to be able to offer this program on behalf of the ministry. All right, so we're going to run through the contents from today. What we're going to go through is you'll learn a bit more about us, about the industry, about the program. You get the ins and outs. You'll be able to ask any questions that you like, who can participate, the benefits of the program. You'll get to understand the curriculum, the process flow, and maybe even learn about a couple of other programs that we have going on with the organization. So let's go through our first poll. Some of you who are online, we'd like to ask you how many nationalities are represented within your organization currently. Give you a few seconds to respond. All right, Mike, what do we got there?
So we have a critical mass here, and it looks like majority of our participants have between 1 and 5. About 35% of participants said that. From 6 to 10 is 30%. And the next largest number is 20 plus at 22%, which is very surprising.
Wow. Awesome. Well, Ontario is a very multicultural province, so I guess that speaks to that there. Great. All right, so a bit about Food Processing Skills Canada. We are your workforce development organization. Skills is what we do. Anything that we can do to assist the industry in their workforce development of standards, development of training programs, development of certification. Like there are so many skills that our workers acquire over the years that may not have been formally recognized, that we can now do so through some of this programming. Once we can actually recognize them for those skills. For instance, we do have a certified industrial meat cutter certification where we actually recognize the skills of industrial meat cutters. They get a full passport, a designation, a tool. They can use those acronyms after their name to recognize what they've learned over the many years. So we're doing a lot of work around that, working with the colleges, universities around accrediting programming and training, and talent attraction, workforce retention. Where are people coming from? What is the best way to keep the current employees and staff that we have? Really trying to change that culture around a lot of, human resources is a big term and word, and it does cover a lot of things. But we kind of cover a lot of these areas under the umbrella of skills development and training and research. Where are folks going to come from in the next 5 years? Where are they going to come from right now? Whereas we have a huge shortage and we're in need. Where are they coming from, right? So really trying to help solve some of those challenges and programs, working alongside with you and industry on that. So the Succeeding at Work program, language stream, actually came to life through another project that we have, which is called Succeeding at Work, and you'll hear more about that, where we trained those individuals, actually those underrepresented groups, the general public, with skills, and then feed them into the pipeline to be able to get employed within the industry. And then we also flipped that script and actually decided to train the employees working at the facilities as well, as there was a huge need for that, not just to create the pipeline of workers, but also to train those who were on site. So then we said, there were so many different language needs and nationalities represented at your organizations with a variety of languages. And we said, wouldn't it be great if we could take some of the core content that we have and have those translated into 6 languages, and then 7 if you include English that we already had. So that's what we did and presented, and now we're going to have that come to fruition. We have, so many companies that we can align and register for this program, but our goal is to train 300 individuals in those various languages, covering the 10 online courses. Who can participate in this program? It is open to quite a wide range. So it's not just food and beverage manufacturers, but I would say farmers, greenhouse growers, retail, grocery stores, cannabis processors, industrial catering, food services, food-related associations, and then we're also opening up to immigrant serving agencies. We want to allow 5 of your clients to be able to participate in this program as well, covering the various languages that we're offering. So as well, temporary foreign workers are eligible and open to take this training. International students are eligible to take this training. New Canadians and existing Canadians are eligible for this training. So we don't want to leave anybody out. If you have any other types of target audiences or groups that you don't think maybe fit into these categories, just let us know during application and intake and so forth. And we want you to know that education level is also not a barrier. Our courses are developed at a English language level of 4, which can cater to a wide range of educational levels and language levels. So they're at a very good practical level for those joining in. And it is narrated, it is very visual, there's videos and so forth. So we believe that the programming and the course content is suitable for all. Let's go to poll number 2. Now that we discussed those different sectors, industry sectors, we're wondering which industry sector are you representing? And your poll should be launched. Nice. So Mike, what are our results here?
All right, so it looks like we have quite a bit of people from immigration services agencies with 47%. The next largest being Ontario Food and Beverage Manufacturers of all subsectors. And then retail and grocery stores, as well as food-related associations coming in just at the end. Quite a diverse group today.
Great. Wonderful. That's what we want. And if any of you know of any other organizations, associations, companies that would benefit from this type of programming, please feel free to share this with them. All right, so we mentioned the programming, and here's actually the languages that the content will be in and available to you. So French, Chinese, which will be simple Chinese, Punjabi, Spanish, Russian, and Tagalog, or for those who are from the Philippines. So those are the first 6 core languages that we are beginning with and will have available. I guess the cool thing will be is that once you enter into the program, they'll have access as well to the English content and the content in their language. So, you know, that can help learning with the English as well, and then having it in their own language and being able to compare both. So let's go to poll number 3, which, if you can answer, which of the following languages apply to your employees? And I believe you can choose more than one answer here. Good numbers coming in. All right, Mike, what are our results here?
Again, very diverse group, but you know, English is coming in strong with 90% represented. We have Punjabi with a great representation at 65, Chinese with 55. We also have Spanish with 60, Tagalog at 30, and Russian at 35. So again, very diverse group, even when it comes to languages.
Yeah, awesome. Very good. So now this is the question we really want to know next. If we were to create some more course content and in different languages, what type of language would you be interested in? And I believe we're going to go to the chat for that one. If you want to just list off a few of those in the chat, that would be great. Nope, we already have some asking for Arabic from the beginning, so that's good. Urdu, yes, we've heard that as well. Let's see, what else? Hindi, Cantonese. Oh, how do we pronounce this one now? Tigrinya? Cantonese and Spanish, which we have. Amharic, Arabic, yes, definitely. We're hearing that quite a bit. Farsi as well. Great. All right, well, this gives us a good gauge on what we can work on next. Perfect. All right, so now I'm going to hand it over to Deanna to explain the program benefits and bring us through some of the details of the program.
Thanks, Jen.
You're welcome.
And I apologize in advance if I start coughing a little bit, but we'll just keep going forward. Succeeding at Work, as Jen said, was the parent company was the Succeeding at Work Connect job seeker stream and the employer stream. And through our evaluations, through DPM research and our surveys, we learned a great deal from employers about where are the gaps, what do we need? So through that, we developed the program benefits for all the non-English speaking or English as a second language speaking employees that you can have. So it's really important that as the fabric of Canada changes, as we develop into more and more multicultural nation, that we recognize if we want these valuable individuals to work in our food industry, because we feed Canada, we are the ones that are going to have to make some adaptations for a safe and healthy workplace. So Succeeding at Work, the language stream, really does remove barriers in education and skill training opportunities. Your education level for your employees or the participants is not a barrier. And that's something that we find to be a barrier when people start to apply or are hesitant in applying. They feel that I only have, education up to a certain degree. I can't possibly take this program. Yes, in fact, they can. And they'll be very proud of themselves. And it could be some of the shining stars in your workplace. There is absolutely zero cost to your company. Just a willingness to work hard. We know that translation services are really important, but it's not just no cost to your workplace, it's the financial benefit of increasing food and workplace safety. New protocols are happening all the time with this wonderful pandemic that we're in. So things are changing. And when English is not your first language, making those changes understood can be very difficult. That's also a safety consideration, not just for your workplace, but for the food that you produce. As we're going through this, a continuous learning environment starts to become developed. We know that we're going to have to continue to learn for the rest of our lives as things change faster than sometimes we can create programs for. So part of this is also developing that learning attitude, that person that's adaptable and flexible in your workplace. Another really important component, we learned this from SAW Connect, which was our job seeker stream. At that time when we started, we had a classroom situation, but we also had 50% online learning, because using a cell phone, using a handheld device is not the same as using the technology that you will find in your workplace. And we're going to find more and more of that. So the pride that people develop and the confidence when they take an online learning program, often with their children at the kitchen table, it's really interesting working with some of our participants. But this self-paced learning and online training is really important in people's personal development, also in your workplace development. And our courses are modules, so you can start them and stop them. You really can learn at the speed of you. And that's an important component when English is not your first language as well. The courses are in first languages, but there will also be an English component. So understanding what words mean, certainly our technical terms. We found that again through SAW Connect that literacy improved. Now that was an English only program, but we found that literacy levels improved in our new Canadian participants. You have a very flexible time in order to complete the program. So not only is there the session time when you start and when you finish, but we want to make available for the next year these programs so participants can go back, they can refresh, they can take their notes. And that too is an important component in being able to apply a lot of the new skills that they've learned and understanding of what their roles are in the workplace. We have Chromebooks available to participants who may need them. Not everyone does have a device at home. You cannot take these programs on a cell phone. You need something better. So we do have Chromebooks. We've made them available. So we have removed that barrier as well. We have in our workbooks, excuse me, and through our debriefs, an opportunity to practice scenarios and test knowledge before taking it onto the floor. We have learned through our SAW employer stream that over 90% of the participants in the program have actually used what they have learned on the job. And we got that from our surveys, and actually speaking to the participants isn't that what we want? We want the foundation level knowledge to understand why you're doing things the way that you should, what the foundations are, but the practical applications and what would you do in this scenario? And that's a lot easier to assimilate when it's in your own language. We have a customized learning portal for the company to house reports and updates on your employee progress. So you can just go to one convenient location online and see exactly what the status of your employees are. Makes it very, very convenient. We also have very professional looking reports as well. So you can discuss that with your team and decide what the best way to approach perhaps the next cohort is going to be. Because again, this is going to be continuous learning. We also have leading industry experts, and they're going to share their best practices and lessons learned for the program participants. We have Succeeding at Work. We have a number of years in applying this program, both to job seekers and to employers. We want to share that information with you so we can make the language stream as successful as possible. Next, Jen. So this is a tremendous value, the program. It's, I'd say it's over $24,000 actually, and benefits to you. The value of the courses, the value of the learning management itself. If anyone has tried to adapt an LMS into their workplace, you'll understand how very expensive that is. Onboarding and training, Chromebooks, industry evaluation. We have a professional evaluation team that you were introduced to. Why is that important? Because we learn from those that take the surveys. And we have had some pretty startling and unexpected results. They've all been positive, but it took us into areas that we hadn't anticipated. So the value of that data is super important in us making decisions and you making decisions going forward. You have a lot of support from FPSC and the team. So what we have done in developing the curriculum, we don't just guess. FPSC has a learning and recognition framework that was prepared with industry at the table, with academia at the table, government was involved in the sessions, and we listened and we heard from employers what they feel should be a pathway, what levels of learning have to occur, in what order and what content to make people as successful as they can. So for the very first time ever, in the food and beverage industry, we have a pathway, whether it's an employer using this for promotional purposes or someone that wants to get into the food industry. And the learning and recognition framework is what we based the content for this program from. So some of the curriculum, we do have this presentation for you afterwards. We'll let you know how you can get it. So I won't read all the actual descriptions of the courses. Okay, you have it in front of you on the screen. Digital technology, really important. You know, how are you going to use this in the workplace? This has been an extremely well-received course in all the SAW programs, especially for new Canadians. Oral communication. Oral communication is not just how we speak. There's a lot more to the communication. And when you come from other countries, sometimes that's the hardest thing to assimilate. How do I say this? When should I say this? And all the workplace essential skills are workplace oriented. So we know that essential skills are skills we need to learn other skills. These are all based in workplace scenarios. Canadian workplace cultures, it's a new world, and something that we hear from new Canadians and immigrants the most. They are sometimes terrified to enter a Canadian workplace and afraid to misstep. This course really helps. Good manufacturing practices, or GMPs. very important, even for those that have had exposure to industry in their own countries. We do things differently here. We have different standards. So where some of the foundation may be the same, we oftentimes do things in a different way. It's important to learn those. COVID-19 and food processing. We have been impacted by COVID, we know that. And oftentimes our employees and the participants in our programs don't have as much understanding, especially if English was not their first language, of some of the new changes in the workplace, why those changes are happening, how they can protect themselves. So it's a very important course. Sanitation. Sanitation is not mopping the floor. There's a great deal of responsibility when it comes to sanitation and processes that need to be applied. Understanding what those are critical from a food safety perspective. Industrial workplace safety, again, learning this in your own first language is so important. We had studies as we created the language stream, we looked at some international studies at what has happened, what were the benefits of training in a first language when it came to workplace safety. And that was one of the leading reasons why we wanted to come up with this program, because how do you explain to someone how not to do something? You can't do that visually. You can't do that by job shadowing. They need to have an understanding of how they keep themselves safe, and that in turn helps your organization. The same with lockout, tagout, very serious subject matter. And job shadowing and simply looking here is not enough. They need to understand the whys. Allergens. It covers a list of our priority allergens in Canada, and as well as some sulfite and gluten sources. We speak to a lot of participants who don't have issues with allergens as much in their country, or they have no allergen programs. So this has been a real huge eye-opener to participants and an excellent course, because allergens is such an important subject matter in our food industry. And the basics of standard operating procedures, SOPs and SSOPs, the sanitation ones, that helps them understand what an SOP is. How do you build one? It brings something that could be very complicated into very common language, and that they'll understand. So we have chosen this curriculum, honestly, based on the feedback from both the employer stream participants, our Job Connect participants, and what industry wanted our new Canadians or new immigrants to learn. So how does this program work? Well, first you're going to connect. This is a good start for the webinar, and we hope that you reach out to us afterwards. There's registration. We're going to go into the next slides and into a little bit more detail as to some of the steps that you're going to learn. But basically, it's connect, learn, and grow. We make it as easy as possible. So here are some of the stages. We have 5 stages. Applying is the first one. Obviously, we ask that employers apply. Okay, and there's going to be several places within this presentation that has the link that you could apply. So employers that are interested, complete the online application. You have to start there. And then next is we're going to reach out to you, and you're going to meet our team, and we're going to have a discussion to make sure this is a great fit for your organization. And then we enter into a partnership agreement. We have a partnership agreement because we have materials and we have the Chromebooks and technology involved. Once you're signed, we send to you online credentials and your employee portal. So we make those available for you so you can start learning, and we're going to help you in that learning process. Next is you receive your program materials. So we have employer and employee packages. We also have Chromebooks. So we make those arrangements with you in stage 2. We discuss what your needs are. Okay, then we turn around and our team prepares those and sends them out to you. Also, now your employees are ready to apply. We'll send you their online application link. Once accepted, an email with LMS login credentials is sent to them. Now the application will be in English and their language, okay, to make it easier. So the next stage, we can start onboarding. Can we go back for a sec? The next stage is we can go into onboarding. So it's time to start. So the onboarding webinar, it's a step-by-step instruction. You learn how to log in. You learn how to access the courses and tips for success. So employees get to study at their own pace, and we do have support systems to help them. The courses are easily completed within 30 days, but sometimes life can get in the way. Sometimes they're really busy at work and they're tired when they get home. So if we need a little bit of additional time, we are very flexible in that regard. And stage 5, the final steps. So employers and employees are going to participate in evaluations and course surveys. That is where we collect the data. That's how we learn to know how to do better. That's where we learn our best practices, and we share that with you because that is really important information. This is a sample of one of the applications. Again, the employer application link will be throughout this program, and we'll make it available to you in the chat as well. So you can just simply copy and paste. It's a fairly simple application. It's 2 pages. And from there, we will contact you. Meeting our team. We will discuss your needs. We'll discuss how many Chromebooks you need, how many participants you feel you have, and so on. And you get to know us. So once your partnership agreement is signed, you receive login credentials. And you have an employer portal. We spent a great deal of time on this employee portal, as shown on the image on your far right. It makes it so easy for you to see your staff progress, to see how they're doing, to see where they are, and also to produce some very valuable reports that you can use in discussion with your teams. Program materials are very professionally prepared. We have employer and employee kit folders. We have documents that will help guide your employees in their first language. We have the curriculum in their first language. So we have posters for you to put up into your workplace. So we really have prepared all these pieces of promotional material and resource guides to make this as successful as you possibly can. And again, onboarding begins. We have a webinar that you'll participate in that will show you how easy it is. And it's really easy peasy. Shown once, we have never had any participant in our program after they've been shown once have to come back. They're going to start learning at their own pace, which is really important. And part of that, again, the evaluations and the course evaluations are in English and the first language, because we want to make sure that we have the correct information from those that are participating. And a graduation package is prepared for each successful employee. You must receive a 70% in each course in order to receive a certificate. And we do allow for the course to be taken a second time. And again, we are going to work with your employees. All we want is for them to be successful, and we know that they will be.
Another key point too is that they'll actually have access to the content for a year after the program. So they can go back to it all throughout the course of that year to do a refresher. Maybe they want to look up something again, study some more. So they will have access to that curriculum for a year after the program. Let's see what's next. All right, so now we can open the floor to everyone where any questions you may have. You can either ask in the chat or you can unmute yourselves and ask directly.
Hi there, can I ask a question?
Sure.
Hi, it's Anita Muggeridge here. I work with the Thunder Bay Multicultural Association. So we're getting our snowstorm right now. You guys had it yesterday. Ours is hitting right now. Great presentation. Thank you so much. A lot of great information. Really interested. This is a great program. I'm the job developer for our agency, so I connect our newcomers to employment. My question is back about the languages. So you think more languages will be added to the curriculum?
That's our aim. We will see how opportunities come for funding to do so.
Right.
But with additional resources and funds, we'd like to extend the languages, but we're going to start off with these ones to begin.
Sure. Sure, just because we really watch, obviously, based on what Immigration Canada is, what newcomers we are welcoming into the country, right? So of course, I think I can just speak for our agency here. I think Arabic would be your number one first kind of go-to, because we've welcomed so many wonderful, refugees from Syria, from different parts of the world. The next big one I can probably recommend is going to be the Afghani languages. So
Yes.
Pashto, Dari. We have all our wonderful new refugees coming from Afghanistan, and that's going to be a huge base of training for sure. And then I know just I know in rural parts of rural Canada, now rural Ontario, we have quite a few newcomers coming from Eritrea. So that's going to be your Amharic languages, your Tigrinya languages. So, based on who we are welcoming into the country, it would be really, really great to see those languages reflected in the curriculum for sure.
Those are really great suggestions. And when we picked this first group of languages, we actually went to employers and we surveyed our employers in Ontario. And these were the top 6 that we had right now. But all the ones that you've mentioned, ironically, are on our list. So
Excellent.
again,
Great.
as our immigration changes, we need to adapt.
Wonderful. Because just reviewing the languages that you offer right now, I know that for our agency, we wouldn't be able to offer it. We don't have any of those languages really. A few Spanish, that would be about it. So once the other languages get added, it might be something that we could really look at doing. So thank you very much. That's great.
Well, thank you.
Perfect. Thank you. Yeah, we know Arabic's a big need in the East Coast as well. So that is definitely top on our list. Mike, are there any questions in the chat or anything else?
We have a couple questions in the chat, actually. So the first is, can clients get one-on-one support after completing the program?
That's not a part of this program, but that is a part through the SAW Succeeding at Work Connect stream. If it's somebody from the general public, if it is somebody who's employed within the industry and the company is connected with us, we're always there to assist them in any way possible.
Awesome. The next one is this a free course?
Yes, this program is free for those in Ontario, for those companies. So to have an individual of the general public apply, they wouldn't be able to. They have to work through either their immigrant serving agency or work through their companies to register their employees or their staff or their clients.
Great information. So the next one is, are the orientation webinars pre-scheduled? Are they presenting in various languages?
The orientation session is meant for the employers. So those will be in English only, those languages. So if we do orientation sessions for the employees, we would have that support in different languages available on the line. But the first initial orientation is just for employers. So it would be in English.
Great. Another one is, do folks need to be currently employed to access this program? Is this open to newcomers who are looking to access employment in the food and beverage industry?
So if they can register if they're coming through an immigrant serving agency or an employment center group, because they would be considered the employer. So if you're just somebody looking to take the training, generally, you wouldn't be able to apply directly to the program in that way.
Okay. And I've seen a couple questions in regards to other provinces. So hello, everyone. How can we receive the kit for employees for those who are living in other provinces like Alberta, as well as a workshop booklet?
Yeah, right now it's open for those in Ontario specifically, as this is a Ontario funded program, but we will be opening it up to the rest of the country after this program is done. But there probably will be a fee of some sort to the program, but at the moment it's available for Ontario only.
All right, and the last one I have is, hello, can I clarify if only 5 participants from Immigrant Service Center are able to join?
Yes, that is the number that we're looking at right now, but we'll communicate with you as you go further in the process to see where our numbers are at, because it's limited to so many participants.
All right, and so that does it for the chat currently.
All right, wonderful. Just want to make sure we answered everything correctly.
I've got another one that just came up, inquiring if 1 year is the timeline to complete the program for an employee.
They have access to the program, so we are asking employees to finish the program between 30 and 45 days, which should be more than enough for the 10 courses based on our experience and what we know that they can handle. But again, we said if they need an extension in time and so forth, just to let us know. But they will have access to the course content for a year after. But the timeline to complete, we'd like participants to complete the training within at least maximum 45 days. So we can still get out your graduation packages, certificates, and so forth. So we are, because of COVID and all the situations that everybody's going through, we did ask for an extension on the timelines of the project. So we'll keep you posted on that, because then that gives us all more time to be able to complete the training and the work and alleviate some of the pressures and stresses that are kind of happening right now on day-to-day operations. So we are registration, we can accept applications right now. So we're starting. We've already have numerous applications in the hopper. So I would encourage you to apply as soon as possible. And then we're looking to start hopefully for the beginning of March or the end of February. We'll see how it goes. We're still finalizing the content in the various languages.
Can I add to that, Jennifer? The reason this has actually come from the employers themselves. If you have an open-ended time frame for people to take the studies, then it just kind of falls off the cliff sometimes. If you have a time frame in which people are expected to complete it, not only do they receive support from additional people in their own workplace, but we're better able to support them. And they stay on top of their studies, because one course will lead into the next in terms of knowledge growth, and they'll see how they can apply their new knowledge in the workplace. So we thought at first that we would have a longer period of time, and we found out very quickly that no, the shorter period of time actually works better for the participants.
Yes. Great clarification there.
Hi there, I have a question.
Yes.
It's Rosie Kelsey, currently employed with Maple Lodge Farms in the talent acquisition HR department.
Hi, Rosie.
And hi, great content, great course. Great program that you guys are running. First time kind of chiming in, listening to everything, made lots of notes. The question or the inquiry is, we are hiring about anywhere to 10 to, I would say, sorry, do I sound muffled? I've got a face mask on.
No, it's clear actually.
Okay, good, thanks. We hire anywhere between 20, I would say 15 to 20 employees on a weekly basis, just with our 6 various plants that we have, and in different divisions. So we have, a live health area, then we have a wiener plant, a bologna, like a deli plant, just to give you some content around that. So very quickly, so various languages, of course, and ones that you normally would cover that you've already mentioned. Would this be a beneficial program to be kind of incorporated into our first day orientation? Is that how normally you would set something like this up? That here we've hired you now, we'd also would like you to partake in this program.
Yeah, there's actually a couple of options for you in that instance. So
I'm just thinking about the integration piece of it.
Yeah.
And for existing employees, we can definitely do an employee communication, but for the new hires that we're doing, I'd like to have like 2 options there. And what would you suggest?
Right. So we have 2 options for you. So the Succeeding at Work employer stream, which Deanna is, we have a lot of companies in Ontario and across Canada on this program. So it also allows you to train your current employees. So that's the pathway that they could go on to establish that continuous learning environment. And then if you have those individuals who, English is their second language and can fit into the language stream, I would assign those individuals to the language stream. But I think the Succeeding at Work employer stream would be the best fit for you more long-term, and that whole integration piece would be the best fit.
Okay.
So Deanna can definitely follow up with you on that. Because yeah, we know, is it Christy?
Yes.
Is it Christy? Yeah. And that's, so, a few. So yeah, I think that would be a great program to integrate that and to start the continuous learning process there.
I will reach out to Deanna, and thank you for that.
Perfect. Thank you. All right. Do we have another question? I think I saw one come in. Mike, do we have another question in the chat?
We did. It looks like Deanna might have answered it in regards to if it's for employers and various organizations, example, nonprofit organizations with job developers to connect clients with employers upon completion of training.
Yeah, it's to actually allow your clients the opportunity to learn about the industry, develop the skills that industry needs, and then they would have those skills that they could document. They'll have their certificates, they'll have their transcript of their marks and so forth, that they can now have an advantage and bring forth to companies, that are looking for new employees. So that's how that would benefit them.
So that is all that we have in the chat currently.
All right, perfect. Any other questions? And you will get, oh, actually, I think I had more to the presentation.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Feel free to type in your questions at any point. Reach out to us. Here we
Let me
go.
go through this. I have 6 minutes. Let me do this. Other programs offered, which Deanna was going to talk about, the Succeeding at Work employer stream.
Well, here we are. This is the parent of the language stream. And I mentioned a little bit about this briefly before. So the Succeeding at Work, the job seeker stream called Connect. We were training individuals in 22, sometimes 23 courses, workplace essential skills, your food safety and technical skills, and also emotional intelligence or social emotional learning. Our program was the first in Canada to offer social emotional or emotional intelligence programs to industry. We have since developed an entire suite of programming that Jennifer can speak to later, but we found the results incredible. But so we had this great, talent pool trained up, and they went on their interviews and they weren't getting hired. And so, okay, I started talking to some of the participants and they said, well, Deanna, sometimes the people are interviewing us said, we know more than they do. And I thought, oh, okay. So I went to some of the employers and I say, what's up? And again, it's Deanna. We never thought that we would experience some of the pushback we had from our employees because they haven't had the benefit or the opportunity of all this training and this education. And they just came back to us and said, what are we, chopped liver? And so I, being a forward-thinking person, Jennifer and I, we went to government, to our funders, and said, we may be at the wrong end of the animal here. So we developed the employer stream, because so many times in our industry, we are just producing, hiring, and producing, and we have a chronic staff shortage. We know that, okay? But what do we do with the individuals that are already working with us? They're working so hard. So we developed the employer stream program, and there's no loss in production, there's no downtime. And some of the questions we had from employers were, our employees aren't going to take courses in their own time. They're never going to do that. Well, in fact, they do. And they love doing it. And they're very proud to do it because you know why? For the very first time, some of these individuals, it's the only paper that they've ever gotten, especially a Canadian certificate recognized by the Canadian Food Processors Institute in their name. They've earned that. And it's been a tremendous success, and not just in terms of confidence and ability in the workplace. It's been a competitive edge and recruitment. It's increased employee retention. Things that job seekers want and employees want is different today than it was even 5 years ago. They want more. They want a user experience. They want an employee experience. They want to know, what are you going to do for them? This program answers those questions. There's competency gains. You have a skills and competency document outlining all the gains that you've had. There's 22 courses. It's improved audit performance. You can show your auditors, inspectors, all the certificates and the competency transcripts. Increased adaptability. We have comments from employees. They say, I now understand my job. Now I understand other people's roles. And now I understand how to better work with people. There's a much greater employee engagement because they're talking about the stuff that they're learning, and they're actually helping each other. And supervisors are interacting more with line positions. There's less absenteeism because now there's a greater sense of motivation. There's fewer workplace accidents. But the biggest thing is we did it. There's no loss in production and no operational downtime, and it's free. It's fully funded. You have, the employers have a learning management system. We create a virtual campus for them. They have workbooks to work on. But here's the biggest thing, and this is what's the most important to me. 98% of employees surveyed said that the skills they gained from succeeding at work, they used them on the job. That's what we want, isn't it? So succeeding at work has been incredibly important, incredibly successful. And then that's how the language stream was born, because we have so many individuals that they need to understand what they're doing in their language first. And we saw that firsthand with our job seeker stream, how sometimes new Canadians struggled with concepts and words. Well, when you do it in your first language, it becomes really understood, and that benefits you, the employer. I could go on, Jen, but so talk to me.
Awesome. No, that's great. Connect with Deanna about the employer stream. Great program. We only have a few spots left. So if you want to be a part of that, I would suggest that you jump on that very
Jen,
quickly.
can I just mention something quickly? Because we've had questions in this area. This is a national program. So if you're in Alberta, BC, out east, anywhere, it's a national program. So yes, Ontario employers can participate, but I'd really love to see some employers from across Canada.
Yes, definitely. All right, thank you. Another program that we have, if you are looking to hire students anytime into your organizations, whether you're a company or a food industry related group, we can provide you with up to $7,500 per placement. We're right now looking for winter semester. If you're looking to hire anybody or have a student take on that special project for you, we can reimburse you with up to $7,500 for that, 75% of their wages. So the term minimum is a 4-week placement up to 16 weeks. Even if you had students in the fall or the summer, we could still reimburse you retroactively as well for that. So I would jump on that as soon as possible. The spring term will be coming up and summer terms. So if you're looking for future placements as well, please connect with us. Cindy is also the outreach. Cynthia Perry is also the outreach manager for that program as well. And Deborah, who I think is on the call, project manager for that program. So if you're looking to hire a student, utilize this program. We have funding just for you for that. And then a new project that we have as well is around VR, virtual reality training. We know based on statistics that you learn a lot quicker with virtual reality, you retain the information and you get to practice that training. Actually, Mike here, who was on the call, is the program coordinator for that project as well. So right now we're developing the curriculum, the content. It's really cool. We are going to be offering it to 400 companies across Canada to have their employees be able to participate in this training. So you're going to have some of the technical skills that they'll be able to practice and learn. Maybe they're going to mix some chemicals together. Maybe they'll do an ATP test. They're going to come into their facilities. You know, are they doing the proper processes and procedures? We're going to be able to mark that and track that behind the scenes, see how well they do, and they'll be able to continually practice that. We'll actually be sending you the Oculus 2 headsets with the programming preloaded in there for you to learn and utilize, and you actually get to keep those. The companies get to keep those. So they'll have online learning. They'll be able to actually get the background of the training and the learning, and then they'll be able to practice that. So you'll have both components to it. And then we're also going into some of the soft skills and the emotional intelligence training as well. You're going to go to Social Emotional Village. Our theme is kind of built on a food industry champion. That's the theme of this whole virtual reality world that we're creating, and they're going to be able to really practice and be in certain environments. So you're going to learn some of those soft skills, how to work with others, empathy, and so forth, as long with the technical skills. And then the other piece that we're going to have for the immigration centers and employment centers and so forth is the whole career exploration model. So we're going to various facilities within our sector and subsectors, and we're filming what it actually looks like, feels like, what the jobs are within our industry. So you'll be able to promote that to your clients, as well as with through educators as well. We're going to work with the continuing education departments, colleges, universities, and we're going to provide you with those tools as well to allow your clients to experience what it is to work in our industry. So we're really excited about this program, and we're looking to, we're still in development phase, and we're going to be starting to recruit very shortly within the next month or two for companies and for educators, immigrant serving agencies, employment centers to be a part of this program and to sign up for that. So if you're interested in this program, you can let us know. And then as well, we have membership. If you're not a member of our organization, we have so many great programs that we allow members to participate in first come, first serve. And, you know, we really want you to have an edge up on everything that we're doing, reports that we release, you name it, sessions that we have. We do have a membership. It's a very low cost because we understand that so many of you are part of so many other organizations and associations and so forth. And, you know, really want to be allowed to allow everybody to access our membership. And once again, if you have any other questions, please reach out to us. You will receive the recording, you will receive the presentation and so forth for this. Hopefully by the end of the week, you should receive everything in your inbox, if not sooner. And we just wanted to thank you today for being a part of the session. Sorry, we're 5 minutes over, but we appreciate your time. And if you ever need anything, please reach out to us and let us know. So from our whole program team and Food Processing Skills Canada, have a great day.